It is Super Bowl Sunday, and we have the answer to one of the most searched for questions of the day.
That question is, how do I stream the Super Bowl? It's easy. First step, just download the Paramount Plus app, which looks like this. Once you're logged in, look for the Chiefs-Niners match tile. Don't worry, it'll be front and center and look like this. Have a cable subscription? You can watch the Super Bowl that way as well by downloading the CBS Sports app and then clicking on the Super Bowl tile that looks like this. Enjoy the Super Bowl and stick around postgame for live extended coverage of the game on CBS Sports HQ. CBS Sports HQ live from Vegas, presented by United Airlines, and we are now within 2 hours of kickoff. Christian McCaffrey, a popular pick to be the first running back to win Super Bowl MVP since Terrell Davis a generation ago, 1997 season. Joined now by Todd Furman and Emery Hunt as we get some more picks for you here on HQ. This is the best weather day of the entire week. Doesn't matter. Game's being played indoors. But let's go with exotic props. A lot of people looking forward to watching the commercials tonight, Emery. And you actually have a commercial prop for us.
Yes, I thought this was rather easy, right? The first commercial was between BMW and Coors Light. This is a Super Bowl. You know what everybody's going to be doing at kickoff? Drinking. Coors Light is the first commercial out the gate, in my opinion. Book it.
I mean, look, Emery's going outside the box, and I applaud that effort. I went exotics, but I stuck within the framework of the game plan to try and look at some of the unique offerings that FanDuel has available for a game like this. And I found myself landing on the 49ers to have more time of possession in the game than the Kansas City Chiefs. When you look at San Francisco, this is a team that does have a little bit more in the way of big plays in their arsenal, but I think they have to be judicious with the football, methodical, allow Brock Purdy to take what the defense gives him. And one of the things that we've seen from this Chiefs defense all year is their ability to prevent some of those big plays. It's the best one we've seen from Andy Reid, and they've done things on a historic level that we haven't seen from the Chiefs since the late 90s. So the 49ers are going to play keep away, keep old Patty Mahomes on the sideline, and I'm willing to lay $1.15 to try and do so, Hassel.
Emery also has a Gatorade prop. Is that what you're giving away with your outfit there? Is that the color that you're going to pick?
Actually, Chris and Todd, this is called Brick. You know, so...
Do we have a Brick Gatorade?
We don't have a Brick Gatorade
catalog just yet.
But we do have America's favorite flavor, red.
Yeah. Exactly.
Doesn't matter what flavor red is. If you tell someone red, they're all in, right? So that's going to be the Gatorade color that we're going to see after at the post game. No one likes purple. No one likes orange. Orange is okay, but red is the best flavor, not color, that we'll see.
See, here's something interesting, and you know, we do the homework on a lot of these markets. You try and figure out where you can find an angle. Heard a former player this morning talking about the color of Gatorade, saying that, look, the league doesn't want red and orange for the team wearing white jerseys, because the last thing you want to do is send those jerseys to Canton with a stain or have that. So they're more likely to have the blue or the purple or even the clear that it doesn't stain. So when you have the red jerseys on, you're afforded a wealth of options that are there. Just the little things the league is trying to make sure when they get their ducks in a row.
Is this in this book that you bought? There's all these nuggets you bought?
No, it's
impressive.
This book just
makes sense what you just said.
This book just has a lot of different numbers in here, and I'd be lying if I said I bet half the props that were in this thing. So,
Todd, you got a lot of punting props this week.
I mean, look, punters are people too, Chris.
I'm well aware as an Iowa guy.
I've done. Well, that's what I was going to say. We're going to just play it like CFL football, start punting on third downs to make sure that Spencer Petras and company don't turn it over. But yeah, I mean, we have seen sharp money on both punters, both Mitch Wisniewski, and of course I'll butcher it as I say punters are people, and Tommy Townsend have taken money over their prop numbers. We saw those open up in the mid-50s. They're up about 2.5 yards for each player.
Chiefs to punt before scoring at -112 is one of those exotic picks from Todd Furman. The line moved again. It is now back to 2.5. Todd, what do you make of this?
Look, we talked all week long about when that book liability was going to accumulate to a point where they had to start moving in the favor of Kansas City. And what we've seen, FanDuel got as low as 1.5, and you started to see a little bit more professional money coming from the 49ers. But what I think is so fascinating about this game, and I can't speak to FanDuel's book of business, but spoke to a couple shops out here in the desert, and they've told me about 3 out of every 4 tickets from an ATS standpoint are coming in on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Moneyline scenario even more lopsided, and there are rumblings for the great, beautiful property behind joined us in the MGM Grand family, that they have substantial liability to 49ers' future. So it's always a cat and mouse game. You want to monitor the movement, but I think it's much ado about nothing, knowing that we're not on key numbers because we're not getting a 3 for this game.
The over-under rather has come down as well to 46.5. You guys have your picks for the game. Does that 1 point change it at all for you if you're on San Francisco?
It doesn't on the side because I was inclined to back the 49ers on the money line with a little bit of a discount there, but it does for the total. When you look at the total market and you go, there are key numbers from an over-under perspective. The two most important for me, 47 and 44 in this range. Coming below the 47, it would put me on the sidelines as somebody who wanted to make a case for the under. So please shop around. If you're betting it under, 47 has to be your cutoff. I actually think you'll see a little bit of an appetite for an over-better.
And you like 49ers money line and the under. Emery, what are you on?
I like the money line of 49ers as well, and I like the under, even with the full point dropping down, because I still feel like it's going to be 24-20 San Francisco. Nip and tuck throughout the first half, and then we'll see a bit of a point explosion in those middle 8 of the back end 4 of the second quarter, first 4 of the third quarter. Then things get back to a tightly contested matchup throughout. So I like this one going under.
One thing that's interesting is when you look at the Chiefs and the way that they have played this year, they've been one of the best second half under teams in the entire league, and they've been even more dynamic in the fourth quarter when it comes to scoring. So let's see. The 49ers have made a habit of digging themselves a hole. I'm not sure this is a game where they're going to want to try and erase a double-digit deficit with number 15 staring at them across the sidelines.
It is time for best bets with Todd and Emery, and it's Todd, it's one you mentioned earlier on in the week. Brandon Ayuk is a popular pick to maybe be one of those guys to score the first touchdown, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to make a lot of catches out there. Over-under's 4.5.
And you mentioned it. We saw him with the most impactful play against the Detroit Lions in the NFC Championship. He finished with a stat line of 3 catches for 68 yards, and 51 of those came with a little compliment to the Detroit Lions defensive back in that situation. You look at the matchup that Ayuk is going to draw against this Chiefs secondary, and I think L'Jarius Sneed could be in his hip pocket from start to finish. Ayuk's the player that can take the lid off of the defense, but I also don't think Kyle Shanahan is going to try and force the ball into him if it's not there. So while I do think Ayuk can have a big impact and maybe finish with a touchdown in this game, I just don't see him being a high volume receiver. So I'm going to take him under 4.5 receptions as my best bet, and I'm happy, Chris, to lay the $1.40 to do so.
Emery, what's your best bet?
I love the under still. I feel like they're going to come
even at 46.5.
Even at 46.5, because in the first quarter we're probably going to see 2 possessions. I think we'll see both teams go these long sustained drives. They'll come away with points. Kansas City may come away with a field goal. San Francisco will probably punch it in, but then we'll start to see things kind of open up. The first 15 plays, we know teams love the script. Second quarter, we'll see a little bit more points from both teams, but then in the third quarter, adjustments come. Defense will reign supreme, and who will make the biggest mistake? So I do like the under still to be in play, despite dropping a full point at this juncture.
It was fun last night. The 58 picks for Super Bowl 58 from our sports line folks, Todd Furman and Emery Hunt here, giving us some picks as we near the 90-minute mark to kickoff here on this spectacular Sunday in Vegas. Sportsline weekdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Time with Emery, Katie, EK, and everybody else. Coming up, we've got much more, but right now, how about some picks from our staff for the game?